you guessed it, the live stream. We have a lot of things to talk about today. Might be a little bit of a spicy video today, so please grab a drink, grab a snack. The stream hasn't started officially. We'll wait for everybody to pull on in. I'm just gonna go let the hatchlings know in the hatchling clan that we have arrived. We have started our journey today. I am super excited to see you. I hope you are all doing well. How has life been? Has it been good? Personally, we've been really busy over here in this neck of the woods. Always working on something, always trying to do our best to do the things. So I'm actually pretty excited to share this one with you guys today. This has been a long time coming, okay? I've been working on this one for a while, okay? So I'm in bed with an IBD flare. Oh no, Karina! Well, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I hope that this can help you distract you from the pain of that flare, because that sounds like shit, honestly. I'm really sorry you're going through that. But I'm just letting the hatchlings know. The stream hasn't started just yet. Ooh, Nightmare Fuel Studios, welcome. It's not gonna be the same without you. I'm so glad you joined us. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Yeah, it's gonna be a spicy one today. You guys don't even know. So let me go ahead and let the clan know that we are hanging out here, because we don't want the hatchlings to miss it. If you are interested in getting updates for everything that I do and everything the hatchlings are up to, go ahead and follow us at Discord with the Hatchling Clan. That didn't make correct English at all. What are you doing? Estimated 1995. Welcome to your Daily Dose Dragon Feather. I am letting the hatchlings know in the Discord server that the stream is about to start. This is like the before the stream. I just gotta let the hatchlings know that we're hatchling on the internet. Whatever that means. I don't know what that means, and either do you. So we're gonna move on. But let me just let these guys know. I will, once I get back in like the I guess I should say the stream of things, okay? Like it's literally just we're doing our best here. What's your channel about? I make content about dragon magic. So if you're interested in like spirituality with dragons or like witchcraft with dragons, hatchling lands of dance, I know. I can't. So yeah, there's all of that going on. But anyway, this video is not to scare anybody. Please don't be scared. We're only here to have fun today, guys. Like, for those of you guys who are from DragonWitchTok, who are like clutching your pearls, no, it is gonna get spicy though. Like, I'm not coming for like anyone in particular today, okay? So that's all I gotta say about that. Cause you know, it's a spicy one, like I said. But yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on, hatchlings. I can't even believe that this is the thing today. Okay, I wish I didn't have to make this video. You guys don't even understand. It's pretty bad, but the good news is that we're here, okay? We're alive, we're kicking it, and we're having fun. So thank you for waiting while the stream starts. For those of you guys who just jumped in, the stream has not officially started yet. We're just kind of waiting for our homies to join us. Les Spies. Yes, there will be Les Spies, okay? Angelica Darkheart 777, there will be Les Spies. So don't get too discouraged for today. So there's that. I'm sorry I'm so slow at this. I'm gonna work on like making this more of a streamlined process. I'm a little embarrassed, so. Just so you know, it's just girl bye, you're right, yeah, I know. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day either way. Anyway, that's so embarrassing. Okay, sorry to waste everybody's time, including my own. That was embarrassing. DragonWitchTok. This is a lot. I personally think that everybody needs some tea for this one. I am drinking some rose jasmine green tea from California Pokey and Boba. They are the best boba place out here, in my personal opinion. I will go there every time. And it's delicious. The fit is cozy. Cool outfit, thank you. Danotte McPherson. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Lands of Dance, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Charlie, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Lily daily dose of dragon feather. I'm losing it already. No tea. How about a coffee? That is perfectly relevant for me. Okay. So we have the what's the word? We have the talking stone of obsidian. This is the talking stone. Okay. So we have to talk about DragonWitchTok. I'm losing my mind. We Laura, I'm sorry, I can't read. Laura Mailhot. Anyway, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Good to have you here. Sorry I haven't been here much. Fan member was in the hospital. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Well, I hope they are doing much better now. My tea is cold. My tea is cold too, but the tea here is hot. You're the first person to get your last name correct? Oh my gosh. Honored. It's an honor and a privilege to be in this position. Thank you for letting me know, Laura. I hope that that made your day today, because your comment made mine. Anyway, what is DragonWitchTok? For those of you guys who are unfamiliar, who might just be joining in here by happenstance, who have no idea what witch talk is and no idea what dragon magic is, that's a crazy one. Hi, I'm Azura Dragonfeather. I've been making content on dragon magic for like 13 years. And recently I decided to take my show, I guess you could say, over to the TikTok land. And, you know, hey Vex Typer, thanks for joining the live. Hada Maktoum, welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Thank you, Vex Typer. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Anyway, water than IG, honestly. That's all good. Water's just as good as the tea, okay? If not better, some would say. Morgan Henson, hope all is well. I hope all is well with you too. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. But the DragonWitchTok extravaganza, there has been a lot going on behind the scenes about DragonWitchTok, and it's very spicy and it's very dramatic and spooky, and it's actually a lot more dangerous than people even realize. So for those of you guys who don't know what TikTok even is, or like witch talk and even is, for those of you guys who just maybe consume like content on YouTube or something like that, maybe you want to stay away from TikTok, because it is essentially just a circle jerk of brain rot. And I know that that is a little bit of a, what's the word, crass statement. It's a little bit of a spicy one. But let me tell you something. There is a special type of delusion going on over on just like any sort of spiritual content in the like TikTok space for the most part. And it's like people will literally get so pigeonholed into certain like theories and certain niches, if you will, or they'll like, one person will like have this idea and then like they'll talk about it on TikTok, and then like suddenly everybody has the same idea, and it's absolutely unhinged and not based in reality. And like, this video is honestly just like a safety PSA at this point, because like, you think that like, okay, we know that like all of the like TikTok content in terms of spirituality is just absolutely unhinged. We've talked a little bit about it on this channel too. I've done a couple reaction videos to a certain few people who post on TikTok. And I'm telling you right now, like the shit that goes on over there, okay, is literally so batshit. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian. It doesn't matter if you're like atheist. It doesn't matter if you're like a Scientologist. It doesn't matter if you're a witch. It doesn't matter. It's all insane. So because of that, like, I just wanted to kind of like let people know that like we have to have a talk about this, because like nobody's okay over there. And the people who are okay over there are fighting for their lives to try and like stay afloat and have a moment. TikTok gives me the ick. Same Nightmare Fuel Studios. It's the freaking worst. TikTok in general is so toxic and dangerous, to be honest. Yes, it is. And that's why like the thing is about like TikTok in particular is like what works on that algorithm is 1, rage bait, and 2, fear mongering, and 3, sensationalism, and also like stroking people's egos, right? Like, so the content that's gonna do the best over there is like the content that like confirms people's problems and like is like telling people what they want to hear about themselves, but also is like literally what's the word? It's literally just like people will start like just listing off the most heinous things they can say, or like the most dramatic things they can say, just to get the view, or just to like, you know, grow their thing. It's very much attention based, okay? Hey 910 DC, 910 DC, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I make content on magic and dragons and music. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button, because today we gotta talk about DragonWitchTok, and it's really bad. Witches are hexing the moon. Aw, please. Angel Roses. I know. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. It's literally insane. So I want to tell you guys something, okay? Like, it's really annoying, but like, we already knew Witch Talk was terrible. Like, we already knew. It was just witches hexing the moon and goddesses, essentially. It's tell us a story, a dragon story. That's just a theory, a dragon theory. No, I'm just so love you, Matt, Pat. See you soon. No, but for real, like, it's literally like there's just like so much to unpack, okay? No, why the moon? It's so pretty to be hexed. That's what I'm saying, Lance of Dance. Like, what's going on? I found a reading on TikTok. It was a tower and a knight of swords. The reader was like, ooh, congratulations. Your ex is coming back, to kill me, maybe? Yeah, so we're not even gonna even touch the reading. Okay, maybe we should, because like, part of the readings is part of the problem in today's episode. But here's the thing. We already knew Witch Talk was a fucking cesspool, all right? We already knew it was just a lot of people losing their minds a little bit. Not the moon, exactly, Laura. Like, why? Like, at least hex like the orange man or something. I don't know. But anyway, they're literally so, I never know what I'm gonna get, and like there's so much misinformation on it too. People will like get one idea, or they'll get one viral video, and then they'll like beat it to death, and then like that becomes super problematic, because like people just like really start culturally appropriating their cultures really easily, and it's just like really literally never stops. It never stops. So there's that. And all we have to say about that is that you add dragons to the mix. Oh dear Lord, I was not ready. Story is coming now. Some guy, are you ready? 11:23. Okay, so the story I wasn't ready for was DragonWitchTok, okay? I literally was just told to, I was just told to post, do like a show and tell of the dragons on TikTok, right? My agency was like, yo, it's a great place for marketing niche content. Check it out. I'm like, cool. I'll check it out. We'll see what's going on. I fell in love, okay? I found there's so many people who are creating content there. But then after I got past the sensationalized epic music plus really dramatic quotes on top of slideshows of really beautiful pictures of dragons, after I got past all of that, I started to realize something. I was like, wait a minute, why do all these people sound like they're playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons but in real life? And that's when I really got it in, okay? I really got in deep, okay? I started getting involved in these communities very personally. Helped some of them. But guess what is even wilder, my friend? The things that started to people, I like noticed people chatting about were the craziest of things, you know? It was, I don't even want to put it into words. Like the only thing I can tell you, you guys, is people on DragonWitchTok are literally playing a like role play fantasy, and they're like spreading misinformation and like doing it in such a sensationalized way just to make money. And like at the end of the day on TikTok, especially TikTok, it doesn't matter if you're on like Witch Talk, it doesn't matter if you're on like any sort of like spiritual type of like TikTok, but if you're going to be on TikTok, like especially with like a witchy type of TikTok, you're gonna get people who offer readings. It's very common. And don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of incredible readers on TikTok, and I personally purchase readings from a lot of these people. I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing, right, to get readings. What I am saying is that it's really, really tricky trying to find the right people to get readings from, especially on TikTok, because a lot of people are going to simply charge a lot after they just bought a deck maybe less than a year ago, and they think that they're a high priestess. Like, that is not real, and that is really common on TikTok, okay? And it's pretty scary. Pardon my ignorance, but what's witch talk? Is it regular people talking witches or witches exchanging potion recipes? Oh my gosh, that's my favorite comment ever. Ala Kashindra, love your name, by the way. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Yeah, so witch talk is like TikTok for witches. Yes, some guy, I am a witch. It's basically like, you know how the app is called TikTok, but because it's just for like the content around witchcraft, they call it like witch talk. So that when I say like witch talk, I'm referring to like the people who post about witchcraft on TikTok. So it's a special brand of awful. It's like literally really bad. And I'm just I like really had to make this video because like there's so much like absolute dangerous shit that goes on over there that like we had to talk about it, guys. We had to talk about it. Does it go against any religion? You mean witchcraft? No, I mean, it just depends, right? It just depends on what you want for you in your life. Got him in 4K. What's on your head? You mean the stone? This is opal. I have a piece of boulder opal on my third eye. The vintage system! Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway. Ooh. Made for memes. That is literally my whole entire thing. I like to make pickle chip memes. One of my dragon guardians' name is called Pickle Chips. So I love the pickle memes. He literally requires memes as offerings. He's a very strange dragon. Moving on, DragonWitchTok is a little insane. And the reason why it's a little insane is because people will literally start rewriting mythology about dragons and thinking it's their own like unverified personal gnosis, and they're able to just pick and choose and insert themselves in places, and it's absolutely the craziest thing I've ever seen. Some of it is like almost giving me like maybe someone needs medical attention, and it's so scary because like some people don't understand like the nuance with dragons, right? Like I literally have been working with dragons for 20 plus years. I can understand when something doesn't make sense about dragons or when something is absolutely just made up. I'm usually pretty good at that because I've been doing this for a while. But people who might not know about actual mythology of dragons, or they just know of dragons from House of the Dragon, and they see something like that, it's gonna be such a sensationalized reaction. It's gonna be such like a, oh my god, I found my purpose in life, which is true, valid. Like a lot of us dragon witches like feel this way when we discover dragon magic, or when we discover we can work with dragons in like a spiritual sense. But guess what? It's really awkward when like certain people will literally take that to the extreme and like completely just like steal things from other cultures and make it their own. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's actually called cultural appropriation, and you're showing your racism. Like, it's a little disappointing. And so this is why I'm just like, please vet the people like that you watch on TikTok. Cause like even me, I have to tell, like, be so honest with you guys right now. Me on TikTok, I literally do not make content like I make content here. Do you understand? Like on TikTok, I am a very unhinged version of myself. Like, because that's what works on the app. Like people have to understand the algorithms for the different like platforms work so differently and are going to reward creators so differently, and we're like human beings, and when we get a viral video we want to get it again. It feels good, right? So then if somebody gets a viral video doing something that's fucked up, they're going to do it again. Like that's what happens. Making their own mythology out of ancient marginalized cultures, literally Dragon Witch. It's so sad. Help me. Anyway, which brings me to a shout out to that Dragon Witch, because she's the creator of the DragonWitchTok hashtag. It's actually pretty exciting. Her and I have worked together on building a Discord server that's just for like the official DragonWitchTok community. So that's the first link in the description if you'd like to join us. We work really hard over there with a bunch of other creators in the space and people who love dragon magic to bring the best space that we can for all of those seeking refuge on DragonWitchTok help. But like I said, there's people who will literally like jump on your like camera and be like, you are a dragon soul. And I'm like, help, what is happening? Like, no, man, like you can't, like you can't decide these things for me. Do you know what I mean? Ruben Acosta, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feathers. So happy to have you here. Dill Pickles, love your name. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. What did the buffalo say to his kid when he was leaving for college? Bye, son. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that really did. Yeah. Dill Pickles. Dill Pickles, I feel like you were sent here by the one and only Pickle Chips. For those of you guys who do not know who Pickle Chips is, he is my dragon guardian who insists on being called Pickle Chips. I don't know why. He loves memes. Please hold. There's a dragon behind you. That dragon witch. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so freaking rude. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, there's no dragon behind me. That's a wall, bestie. Like, Pickle Chips is sending dad jokes. Pickle Chips is always sending dad jokes. He is a dad joke. What are we talking about? Elia Petrovitz, oh, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Super happy you stumbled in to join us today. It is an honor and a privilege to host you this evening. If you just enjoy dragons and magic and memes, oh my, please hit that subscribe button, okay? A boy turned to his father and said, Dad, can you explain what an eclipse is? No, son. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me. Pickle Chips is the god of memes. He really kind of is, man. I don't even know. How do you outmatch a dragon? How do you outmatch a dragon with memes? You don't. What do you call two doctors walking together down a hallway? A paradox. Ah, that's a good one. You guys are killing me. These are all good. Not gonna lie, I used to hate jokes like these. They're literally, what the hell? They're so good. They're so good. I sub just because of that joke, man. Not gonna lie, Elijah. Hell yeah. Welcome. You are now a hatchling. We will love you forever. Please join us in the Hatchling Clan Discord server. We would love to have you there if you would like to continue the memes. But anyway, I digress. I digress. I'm telling you right now. DragonWitchTok is threatening my mental health. They want to run me off the clock app. Okay, so I came here to my YouTube channel because I am afraid. This video is for entertainment purposes only, right? Don't you know that? Like, we're just here to have fun. Why don't dragons need magic tricks? Because their fire-breathing act always brings the house down. Oh my god! The dragons love these jokes, please. How do you outmatch a dragon? With memes? Feels like an accurate summary of what I imagine the situation is. Sir Ophelius, yes, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. That was super accurate. Cheers to you, my friend. We have the tea. It's good tea, okay? Ever heard of quiet tennis? It's like regular tennis, but without all the racket. Why are you guys so funny? This is the Make Us Zero Laugh show now. You guys are so funny. Why go to the circus when we got you here? Currently avoids the animal abuse. Certainly avoids the animal abuse. I mean, you're not wrong, Jumpy. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather, by the way. I'm losing my mind. Because people, like, there's a specific flavor of crazy, like, when it comes to dragon magic on like TikTok. Like, I don't know how it all happened. I don't know how we got here. Look, I started my TikTok in 2020 and I posted some dragon magic content way back at that time, but then I had a lot of like loss of life in my family and I just like really just jumped off the internet for 3 years for the most part. And let me tell you something about TikTok. It's a good place sometimes for entertainment, right? Like, I also really get a lot of my news on TikTok, right? Wouldn't know anything about Palestine, for example, if I wasn't on TikTok. Wouldn't know about the Congo, wouldn't know about Sudan, like wouldn't know about those things, right? Like, I just simply would be clueless. Like Lebanon and stuff like that, like Also, by the way, I have a family that I'm sponsoring in Gaza. His name is Omar and Mara. It's the first link in my channel description. If you have any funds that you can donate, it really helps a lot. If not, sharing the link with your friends or whatever would really mean a lot. But like that is like what I use TikTok for, and I try to use it for. And I also try to use TikTok as like, you know, like a community outreach, right? Like I run into a lot of hatchlings on TikTok. But like in terms of like me going to TikTok to research something, this is like what I'm going to tell everybody right now to like not do. And if they do use TikTok as a resource to like search things up, like I really just would unsubscribe from that altogether. Especially if like your research brings you into TikTok. So for example, the reason why I found out how horrible DragonWitchTok was is because I like, do you guys remember the live stream I did where I read the book called The First Sex by Elizabeth Gold Davis? Well, in that book, there's a particular goddess named Tiamat, and she is an ancient Sumerian goddess of creation. She's like a chaos dragon, right? She's like considered the mother of dragons, the real mother of dragons. And so in this book that I read live, I was very moved and I had to learn more about this goddess Tiamat. Now she's my matron goddess, of course, but at the time when I was trying to learn about Tiamat, you know, like doing this research brought me to TikTok. And that was the problem. That was the problem. Why did the dad join TikTok? Because he thought it was a new way to clock in for work. You guys are insane. If your source is TikTok, then I automatically will not take anything you have to say seriously. Exactly. Dragon Fuel Studios. That is amazing. That would be such a fun name. Nightmare Fuel Studios. Woo! Sorry about that. Maybe it should be Dragon Fuel Studios. I don't know. That was pretty fire. Get it? Dragon fuels the fire. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Let me shut up. Anyway. Jumpy Killer, are you at least older than 21? Are you good, Jumpy? I don't know. That was diabolical. Is that a new fandom? I don't know. Dragon Fuel. It's super sick. Super sick. But anyway, here's the thing. We have issues on DragonWitchTok, okay? Because why, first of all, why did my research for Tiamat bring me to TikTok? Okay, second of all, the only thing that I could really find about Tiamat that was like actually legitimate was her creation myth, or the Babylonian creation myth, the Enuma Elish, right? G Fuel for dragons, basically. Basically. But anyway, I support the name change. It would go hard as fuck, right, Elijah? That would be so awesome. We love that. We love that. But like, look, I love Tiamat, but I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. If you love Tiamat too, I need you to just never let anyone else speak for her to you. I need you to do your own research on Tiamat, and I need you to do your own research on any ancient primordial dragon deities you want to work with, okay? I'm talking Apep, I'm talking Epsu, I'm talking Leviathan, I'm talking Jorminger. I'm really sorry. Jormy is very hard to pronounce his name, okay? What do you call a dragon that disappears? Dragon. I love that one. That one was a good one. 100%. But anyway, so there's literally like nothing else to say like about the fact that it's literally a problem. Like, right? Like I need you to understand that like it's not a place for you to do anything other than be entertained and maybe see some of the actual news that's going on. You can also get you can find a lot of really cool people there. Don't get me wrong. Like that's how I found that dragon witch, bitch. But like, you have to understand that like that's, like she is an anomaly, okay? Like, like there are so many, just so many things, okay? And so many creators over there that like will literally, like I said, they'll get a viral video and they'll keep going and they'll keep like beating it to death, and they like literally don't know what they're doing, and they'll even get like a viral hit in a topic, right? So like some people will create content, like spiritual content, and they'll create it about dragons, and they post other things about spiritual stuff, but their content about dragons for some reason goes viral, right? So then when they're gonna post those videos all the time moving forward, guess what happens? They have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. Not to mention the predators on TikTok. So many. Oh my God, Vintage System. There's so many predators in the Dragon Magic like community, but especially the Dragon Witch community on TikTok. And the reason why I think that's the case is because there's such a different demographic of people on like TikTok, and it's usually people who are not, maybe I'm totally generalizing when I say this, usually a lot of people who are not as like mentally stable like use TikTok. I know that I use TikTok to kind of help me try and understand my mental illnesses. Like I'm only going from how I use TikTok as a user, right? So TikTok also has a lot of people who are searching to better themselves. It has a huge demographic of like really young people as well who are just like underdeveloped, like not fully developed, and just literally are trying to understand life. And because of that, there's also a lot less regulation on TikTok in the sense of like, you know, like, I don't know how else to explain it, but like in the content that you post, sometimes the content that you post actually, what's the word? Like, I don't even know how to explain it other than like there's a way to post around the TikTok guidelines that like you can post really sinister things that is just really hard to do on other apps like Instagram or YouTube, for example. The coolest, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Do you believe in aliens? I believe in aliens, but like outside of spirituality, right? Like keep your aliens out of religions, keep your, you know, aliens out of spiritual practices, keep your aliens out of ancient mythology and ancient history and all of that, because for the most part, it ends up becoming anti-Semitic or racist or even Nazi ideology. So with that being said, we're gonna move on from the aliens, but maybe we're the aliens. I digress. The whole point is that like with dragon magic, like there's something so specifically like there's something so specific about dragon magic in general that just like tweaks people's brains, especially if they have like this desire for power. A lot of people will like power trip really bad when it comes to like dragon magic, specifically a type of practice called draconianism. Like it's really, it's a left-handed path, right? That is about becoming the light in your own darkness, essentially. It is a practice of becoming the living god or becoming the dragon through roughly alchemizing your soul back into its purest form. That is a very very run down, watered down, basic description of draconianism for the video, but draconianism, my deepest love. Same that dragon witch. I think the dragon fae are a deeper love for me, but draconianism is pretty close to that shit. Good night, Rin. Thank you for joining the live stream. Oh yeah. Okay, but for real, do you believe in the magic rocks? Are you talking about these rocks? Yes. Are you kidding me? I have a magic rock on my forehead. What are you talking about, Jumpy? We love you. Thank you, by the way, Corinne, for joining your daily dose of dragon feather. Hello, it's Julia. Wait, there's the heart. It's Julia. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Super happy to have you here. We're talking about draconianism because specifically with draconianism, so I'm not a crystal lady in the way that you probably think, Jumpy. Okay. All right. Hello, 911 emergency. We got a crystal hater in the chat. A crystal hater in the chat. Get out. Don't, please don't leave. We actually really enjoy you, Jumpy. I'm gonna put the crystal phone down. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve that treatment from me. I'm sorry. Please. I'm sorry, sir. Anyway, no, for real. Draconianism. People will take this practice and they will literally get so into it in the wrong way. They will literally think that they are the shit. Like they'll be like, you should make me, like you should like bow down to me, and I'm like creating reality. Like it's unhinged. It's gross, okay? It's like literally so, and they'll literally like intimidate people like with like dragon power. I can't even believe I am live streaming this right now. They will literally take their like, what's the word? They will take their like beliefs in dragons, and they'll like post like, you know, like dragon memes about like burning shit, and they'll just think they're so crazy. Like it's just it's intense. Like, and I'm just like, can we not, like, can we just like literally focus on the magical mythical history of the dragons from around the world? That's why we're here anyway, isn't it? Like, the only reason why I ever got into dragon magic the way that I did is because when I was a kid, I started to realize that there's dragon mythology all over the world, and I'm like, how are you going to tell me that dragons aren't real when there's dragon mythology throughout all of ancient history, and it's from cultures that never interacted with each other, but they still have their own version of dragon mythology? Like, that is why I am a dragon witch. Like, not because like, oh, I want to be powerful, motherfucker. Like, no, like I literally just want to be a better person. I just want to know how to handle my shit better. I've been through a lot, and I kind of like really like functioning in society. It's actually a personal preference to be a functioning human being in my life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And the only way I'm really able to function is when I got the dragons. And you know what? Some people might think that's wackadoodle donkey bananas, and you're totally entitled to your opinion, right? But I'm also totally entitled to my life, actually, and I can totally practice whatever I'd like, even if it's some batshit messed up wackadoodle donkey banana thing, okay? Which is why I'm here to tell you. What does that have to do with what's happening in the chat, by the way? I don't even know. But like, there's some just stereotypes because of like, what's the word? There's so many stereotypes about witches because of TikTok specifically. Thank you, Jumpy, for letting me know. Because like, well, reminding me, I should say. Because like, the truth is like, so many people will like think that like crystals have like these like superpowers, and they'll have like these medical benefits, right? And like, look, there's crystals in all of the technology that we use, and all of the technology we use to heal people. So I could make a really crazy convoluted argument of how crystals are healing in that sense medically, right? That is not what we're talking about in today's video. We're talking about the girlies on TikTok who will literally prescribe you black obsidian if you need to do some shadow work, or if you got somebody who's like problems harassing you. No, maybe you should just make a police report. I mean, they probably won't do anything either. Shit, that was a bad example. But my point is that like, people take it too far on TikTok, right? Yeah, the people that think any crystal can be for anything, dude, just like herbs, they have their own properties. They do. They really do. And like, there's so many different ways to use crystals and to utilize crystals, but at the end of the day, crystals are just tools for us to utilize in order to become more spiritually connected, or in order to tap into the divine. Like, that is what makes us human. We have spiritual practices. You know, there's other things that make us human, but it's a huge part of the human experience to experience faith, or to experience spirituality, or to even experience like God or religion. You know what I mean? You can literally make anything a spiritual experience in your human life if you choose to. That is your freedom. That is your right as a human being. And some people choose to do this with crystals, but you have to understand something else. Some people do this with dragons too. And while everybody deserves dragons, like, not everybody is doing it right, okay? And like, this is why I just come on here today to really talk about it, to really just remind you, even when you watch my content, like, you're not gonna always agree with what I have to say about dragons, because everything I have to say about dragons is not for you. Because when we work with dragons in our witchcraft, dragons are going to present themselves in the way that we best receive them, right? The dragons are going to show themselves and show up and show out in the best way that we will understand. And they will work with us for a spiritual practice, or a path, or a draconic path with them that is going to be entirely unique to us and those dragons. And I try to like capture this in like videos, and I try to like really impress this upon people, but at the same time, you are totally entitled to choose your dragon practice to be like a Dungeons and Dragons role play experience, recreating mythology however you'd like, thinking you have a literal dragon avenger team in the spirit astral realm. but other people are also allowed to be like, that's actually batshit insane. I don't want to be around that, blocked. I'm gonna go away and work on dragons my own way and with my own people and mind my business. Each are valid. What's not valid is trying to impress upon somebody your view of somebody else or your view of dragons or your view of dragon magic and call other people wrong because it's simply not what you resonate with or something that you don't understand. Like, dragon magic is so different in the realm of witchcraft and magic, like, and it's so different than even like green witchcraft or like sea witchcraft or things like this because dragons are so specifically their own thing. You know what I mean? Hold on. They're so specifically their own thing that, like, unless you know what you're working with, you're going to actually feel insane because this world has labeled dragons as nothing more than fantasy creatures. But guess what? When you look into history, dragons were the first gods and they were the ones that created the reality. Before that, certain new stuff was told about humanity. You know what I mean? We will never know probably the whole truth to who we really are as human beings. But the fact of the matter is that everywhere you look in history has their own version of it. And that's beautiful. And that's why I love studying the dragon mythology and working through my magic with the mythology, because that helps me feel closer to my roots as a human being, especially in a modern world like we have today. When I work with dragons through the mythological and cultural and historical context and not removing certain dragons from their cultural like context, it's incredibly important to not do that. You are able to tap into really ancient energy and really primordial divine energy that can really transform your life for the better, but it can also really transform your life for the worse. And people don't respect it enough, especially when it's like dimmed down to like a cute 20-second little TikTok video or a cute little like buy my shit so like you can connect with Tiamat, or like buy my shit so you can connect with Dragonfae, or like buy my shit so you can connect with your dragon guardian. Like, that's not how this works. That's really disrespectful. Like, it's literally all about helping people learn their own path with the dragons. Like, the dragons want anyone who seeks them to be open and honest with themselves about why they do that. You know, and like, people who seek dragons for personal gain or to make money or to, you know, feel powerful or to have power over others is just, they're never gonna be working with what they really could be if they only aligned themselves with the right things. And like, the right things when you're working with dragons is protecting what's precious, and protecting what's precious is supporting people who have less than you, like Omar, like the family that I'm supporting from Gaza. If you can donate, it would be really amazing. The link is in my channel description. But the dragons focus on people who do brave things, who be like, you know what, maybe I don't want this person in my life anymore, I'm gonna cut them out. Okay, like, the dragons appreciate the human beings who are going to study their ass off and who are going to cross-reference over and over and over again. The ones who are going to criticize themselves and be like, how am I wrong here? What am I missing? How am I not good enough? Not in like a bad way. Like, it's not like a beat yourself up way. It's a, you want to do better. You want to evolve. You want to be just a better person. Like, it's totally okay. For the real though, what's your favorite ancient dragon culture to study? Elijah, my matron goddess is Tiamat from ancient Sumeria or ancient Babylon and Mesopotamia. She is a creation goddess who is like a chaos dragon of the sea, the stars, and the skies, if you will. But her creation myth is in the Enuma Elish, which is a Babylonian, like a Babylonian like creation epic, basically. The Epic of Gilgamesh, I'm pretty sure. She's amazing. I definitely recommend learning about Tiamat, but when you look into Tiamat, please be careful if your research brings you to TikTok, because a lot of the people who are on TikTok creating content, not only about Tiamat, but just dragons in general, are doing it in a predatory way. They're doing it to make money. They're doing it to get views. They're doing it to have a career, and they're not doing it to actually educate people. And there are some people who do, like, you know, I recently joined there, and there's also a couple other creators like Cecilia Hunt, who is that dragon witch. She's chatting with us today, and she is honestly amazing. Like, we have worked together to build the DragonWitchTok Discord server, if you would like to, because she officially created that hashtag over there. She's really amazing. She's really been helping me out a lot, learning more about these dragon deities, because my practice with dragons personally, growing up, was never really focused on deities. I really never worked with deities. I had a few matron goddesses growing up, but like it was never like a worship kind of thing. It was very much just like I guess the goddess that I resonated the most with, and I sat and talked to the most, and I like did rituals with. Hecate, for example, or the Morrigan, for example. But moving forward, like, I've never really felt devoted to a deity like I do to Tiamat. I've never felt that way, except maybe God, because I am a witch who believes in God. I know that's also controversial. But here's the thing. When it comes to, like, working with, like, dragon deities or any, like, gods and goddesses in general, like, it's so offensive not to, like, study the mythology they come from, and also not to take them out of their cultural context, especially if they're from, like, historically a group of people of color or an indigenous group. Like, there's certain like dragons like Quetzalcoatl, like, closed, don't even work with them. Like, it's just like there's is it the hatchling Discord or a different one? It's actually a different one, Lily. See, it is the first link in the description, called Draconic Arcana. We are working on building like a official Discord server for the DragonWitchTok community, because there's just a lot going on over there in terms of like misinformation and just dangerous things, but also like there's like so many amazing creators that like you just might not know of, and we welcome all of those dragon content creators over there on DragonWitchTok Discord server called Draconic Arcana. So if you're interested, it's just the first link in the description. But I'm just kind of like shocked a little bit, because like I never really expected to get, I guess you could say, such a horrible welcome from DragonWitchTok, you know, aside from Cecilia, we love you. But like I just wasn't expecting it. Like, I wasn't expecting it, and like I just want to do my best to like help provide the best spaces that I can and help build the community as best as I can, because everyone deserves dragons, and I literally would not be alive today without dragon magic and without being a dragon witch. And I get judged for that shit so much, but I'm gonna wear my horns proudly. And I want to remind you that if you love dragons and you're a witch and you want to work with dragons in your witchcraft, that you can wear your horns proudly too. And you can be you, and you don't have to let any other practitioner of the craft or any other person of any other religion ever put you down. Like, you can practice dragon magic however you want to practice dragon magic. That is the truth. You have free will. The truth is that dragon magic can be a very scary practice to practice your way and only your way, because sometimes it's easy to get a little lost, and it's easy to get a little delusional. And I myself have even been involved in these like delusions, but like it's important to keep a grounding practice. And this is why I tell people, especially when you work with dragons, you have to know when to disconnect from your dragons. You have to know when to walk away and be like, you know what, not today. It's a mundane day. Like, it's a day for the physical world. I'm gonna just be a human today. And there are even some dragons that I will cast out of my space because I'm over them. Pickle Chips, I'm talking about you. And like, there's so much. There's so much. It's really unfortunate, actually. Yeah. What do you mean toxic? Why was it a difficult time though? I basically just got like, okay, so like I said, there's a lot of predatory people in the DragonWitchTok community, and I unfortunately encountered some of these people. And like, because the DragonWitchTok community is also small, mind you guys. It's incredibly, what's the word? It's a very, really, like, it's a niche community. And so like the people who do create content in that community are very limited. Just like there's not many of the creators who make content like that. There's a handful of them, and the majority of them scare me. They do. They really do. And I unfortunately got involved in a couple of the communities with like these creators just because like I wanted to just get back in the magic community and like I've never really been involved in the dragon magic sphere on TikTok since like 2020. I like very briefly like tapped into it in 2020 and then I lost a bunch of family. So that was just like I just kind of like had to circle back, and like coming back, it was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was unfortunate. I really struggled. I was very upset by just how I was treated by people who I thought supported me, and like it just was disappointing. I like there's a lot of like foul play that goes on with this kind of stuff. And it just really breaks my heart because like all I ever wanted was to support people in learning about dragons. And when I got scared by certain like ideologies that certain people had, I just wanted to quietly leave these communities and remove myself from the situation. And that was the wrong thing to do apparently, because it just caused a lot of just ugh. And so I never expected to, like, I've never encountered such a scary thing online, which is why I wanted to just warn people about not only just TikTok with like spirituality, but like witch talk especially, and then even more so dragon witch talk, because it's a lot, you know what I mean? And I love the community. I'm gonna keep posting dragon content on TikTok every single day that I can, because I love it. It's actually a really fun app. I post some of my TikTok content here, but I'm really going like super niche content with the dragons. So if you want to learn like a lot more about dragons from me, but like about super specific things, you can go check out my TikTok, because that's where I post my like in-depth chats about them and try to do so every day. And I pretty much do, but it's again, like I just really have started to like focus on my own lane, you know, just focus on my own content creation. And you know, that's the best I can do and help the community where I can, which is why if you'd like to join Draconic Arcana, it would be amazing. Please know that if like, you know, like if you're watching this back in the future, and you are unable to click any of the links for the Discord servers, just leave a comment down below and I will definitely send one to you within 24 hours, because I like check my notifications and try my best to respond to every comment on my channel, because I think you guys are awesome and I love chatting with you, and I really appreciate it when you guys engage with my channel. I've been gone for so long, like there's like, you guys have no business hanging out with me, but you do, and it means the world to me. So it means a lot, so thank you guys. But I just wanted to kind of like, I guess, sound the alarm, because it's a lot, right? There's a lot that happens over on TikTok just in general, but like when it comes to like dragon magic, I just wanted to let you guys know that it can get really, really scary and really, really dark really quickly. There's something about it. There's like something about like dragon magic and TikTok that like really blend badly, like really badly. And so it makes me so sad that like people literally just don't, some people just literally don't give a shit, and they'll just like make whatever content will go viral for them, or whatever content they need to in order to make money, and they'll call it a day, and they don't care about hurting other people, and they don't care about hurting the community, and they'll just profit. And that breaks my heart. It really does. It really chaps my hide, as they say. And I just wish that it wasn't that way. I wish I didn't have to talk about it. I wish I didn't. But like, honestly, like there's no like hard feelings involved with anything. Like I'm just literally doing my best to make content that I love for all of us, and it's just like I do my best to make content since I've been gone for so long. I'm just trying my best to stay as consistent as I can, because like I really missed you guys. I really missed posting, and you know, part of the reason why I'm back is because of creators like that Dragon Witch who made content on dragons on TikTok when I was depressed and doom scrolling on TikTok. I found her videos and was like, wow, like there's so many more different ways to work with dragons than I could even imagine. Like I'm not done here yet. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't done yet. Like the dragons needed me to kind of remember who I was in a sense, and I think that's kind of why this all happened. And like now I'm like super close with my matron goddess Tiamat, and I'm really dedicated to my studies of not only draconianism, but dragon fae alchemy, draconic Wicca, like all of these different really specific practices. And I'm also really focusing on just what my dragons want me to study. Like my dragons want me to study the Abrahamic religions. So we're gonna start reading the Quran here again soon. I really miss reading the Quran with you guys. It was so much fun. They want me to study the it's not, is it the Ethiopian Bible? I think it's the Ethiopian Bible. They want me to read that one, but it's just kind of like there's like almost like a hole in my heart where like I guess magic used to be, like, and it's I'm healing myself, right? It's like I'll be fine, right? Like I'm a big girl, it's fine. But I'm just sad that like I guess maybe I thought that the dragon like magic TikTok community would like, or like the dragon witchcraft TikTok community would just be better than the rest of the like witchcraft community online, and I was unfortunately mistaken about that one. It was really an unfortunate realization. The Ethiopian Bible looks interesting, to be honest. Yes, that is 100%, 100% what's going on. Have you ever studied Gnosticism? I've heard about it. My dragon guardians, they're telling me I'll get there. There's like just a lot that I have to get back into with my studies. Like I used to be really, oh dude, Jesus is awesome. He is the best prophet, one of the best prophets, okay? He has some good teachings. Yo, Jesus is pretty cool. Okay, but for real, he was also a dragon, so young, just so you know. Nice to meet you. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. But there's like a lot to do with like just anything on TikTok that I think is problematic, that like you just kind of have to like use the app differently. Like, and I think that's just the overall message of today's video, is just like when you use TikTok with like a different sort of lens, right? Like view TikTok with not a so serious lens. Like most people, even me, are honestly trying to entertain you on TikTok. I'll try and entertain you through like and educate you through my entertainment. That's like what I do on TikTok, right? I'll be the crazy dragon conspiracy lady if you catch me on TikTok. But like the whole point about it is like the way the app works is like it wants to keep your attention as much as possible, and it's set up to be so easily scrollable. So if something doesn't capture someone's fancy, they're likely to just scroll instead of hop off the app. And like for those of you guys who might be new here, or who might like not know me very well, my day job is I work in celebrity media management and marketing. So I'm all about that digital marketing space, and I'm always on the back end and looking at how things work and how content functions. Hey, Tragic Nostalgic, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. And so there's always like this extra mechanic that goes into content creation in the modern day, right? Like in 2024 and moving into 2025, when it comes to content that you are watching on the internet, the content that's gonna likely make it to your For You page had to be shady somehow to get there. You know, and like I don't want to say that because that's not always the case, right? Which is why I say use your discernment when you use these apps, and don't take everything as fact. And like it's, if anything, this is just like a media literacy class, right? Which is why Cecilia and I are working really hard at making Draconic Arcana the Discord server for DragonWitchTok as best as we can to help people navigate these types of, these types of misinformation, this type of like harmful and predatory behavior. But we also want to encourage people to share their content too, because there's a lot of incredible creators of dragon magic over on TikTok, but it's such a niche like community, like a lot of people just don't know about them. So we want you guys to know about them too. which is why like we're working really hard on this community. It's still pretty new, so we'd love to have you there. But you know, it's just a way to kind of like help you navigate specifically like the dragon magic community on TikTok, because not only me has had such a horrible experience, but even Cecilia. Like we've all, and I know some of you guys in the chat too have had your own fair share of bad experiences there. And so if anything, I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys and just kind of like, you know, give you guys an update on just like what it was like from my own personal experience. And in my own personal experience, it scared the absolute hell out of me. Like I might need to talk to a professional about it. It was that scary. And that's really all I can say. Like that's really all I can say about it. It's really kind of awkward for me. I was really hesitant. I've been really hesitant to make this video for a long time. The last thing I'm trying to do is, you know, I guess stoke a fire that people think exists, but I'm just doing my best at creating content and having fun and trying to engage in social media after being gone for so long. Because let me tell you something, I left like the internet in 2020, like from creating content the way that I do now again, and I have been since like 2012. But the internet that I left when I was like depressed and like just sad in 2020 is not the internet I came back to, okay? Like here in 2024, they are completely different, okay? Like the environment for what works in terms of content creation completely different. The environment of, you know, the algorithm, I should say, in terms of which creators it favors and rewards, completely different. The terms of services themselves are completely different. So there's so many things that I need to personally kind of catch up on in terms of like content creation. And this was a really hard way of learning some of those lessons. And 11:11 on the clock, shout out. Which is why I wanted to kind of bring this wisdom to you today, because please just be so careful. Like when you research about dragons, you guys, like there's a reason why dragon magic historically has been passed down through word of mouth or through initiation, and why today we literally probably virtually have nothing to reference in terms of dragon magic, which is why people's modern practices of dragon magic are so UPG, meaning unverified personal gnosis. And while there's always going to be some own DIY element to modern day witchcraft, it's especially more critical at understanding the very limited mythology we do have with dragons when it comes to building a practice with them in the modern era. Because otherwise, if you don't educate yourself on those things, all you know is the programming that you've seen in dragon media your whole life. And that's what you're gonna build your practice off of. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a good old pop culture witchcraft practice. I work with a few of them in pop culture myself, like Saphira, for example, or, you know, Haku, for example, or the dragons from Game of Thrones. People work with these, right? But like, it's also really important for you to like really ask yourself, like, where's the line? Like is this too much like fantasy, or is this based in real mythology? Or how can I blend the two together in a way that keeps me grounded? Because I certainly haven't always been doing that practice very well, but I try my best to check myself. And there's a lot of people who don't check themselves, right? Within Draconic Arcana, we encourage you to find your own path and form your own belief, all while keeping you humble and grounded. Yes, exactly. There's this problem that I think a lot of people encounter when they walk a draconic path, or they practice things like draconianism, or they work with like even dragon deities like, you know, Tiamat, or they work with dragon magic. There's this huge element of like people get like god complexes or like superiority complexes really quickly, and that comes from like a lack of like humility, right? It comes from a lack of understanding that you are no better than anyone else, because these practices in a way kind of like often will like verify people that they are better than anyone else. If someone's not practicing these things with a scholarly eye, with a nuanced eye, with a discerning eye. They're going to kind of like, I guess, muddle the water a little bit, which is why it gets Saphira as an Aragon. Yes, exactly, Angel Roses. We love her so much. Welcome to your Daddy Daisy Diamond Feather. We love Saphira here. But it's like so different, right? And like so many people think that like dragons in the sense are like just some imaginary friend, and to an extent yes, because like, you know, like, I mean, no, I should say, but like, it's, some people would kind of associate them with that because they're like a spirit you can't see but you talk to and it teaches you things, right? Or it will like engage with you in certain ways. But people will think it's almost like a spiritual pet or like a spiritual overlord or like a spiritual mate. Sorry, I know it's been 84 years, okay. Like with like the dragon magic specifically, they will like, I guess it's hard to perceive dragons properly is the true part of the problem, because my imaginary friends, like as a kid, were my dragon guardians, and I very vividly remember them being dragons, and I very vividly remember like the adults around me saying, yeah, that's an imaginary friend. Okay, cool, Betsy. But the way we perceive dragons is so critical to how they show up for us in our lives. And I think this is something that people don't talk about enough, and it's especially not talked about enough on TikTok. Like there's like next to no spiritual safety content on TikTok. It scares me. And like I think that people don't take safety seriously when working with dragons because there's still this like association that it's like a fantasy, and it's like this is like, you know, not even real anyway, and like, you know, this is like child's play, or like this is like bedtime story, or like this is like children's movie. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? And the problem starts there. People don't respect the dragons really truly for who and what they are, and like they're just so much more than humans could ever even understand or perceive, which is why every single practice with dragons is so different. Like, because every practitioner has different eyes that they perceive the dragons with, which is why I tell people, like, my version of Draconic Wicca will not be their version of Draconic Wicca. My version of the Draconic Path will not be their version of the Draconic Path. Like, my version of, like, Draconianism will not be their version of Draconianism. Like, everybody's allowed to have their own practices. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, what's the word? It's not like, it doesn't have to be like more serious than that. Like, the only thing, what did I even discover scrolling through lives? Canopy, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. We're super happy to have you here. We are talking shit about people who create dragon magic content on TikTok. Not really though, like we're just kind of being like, hey, watch out, okay? Watch out for the spooky stuff about dragons on TikTok, because it's a lot. Welcome, I love the horns. I'm so confused though. No, that's okay, I'm a dragon witch. I've been working with dragons for 20 plus years, so if you're interested in that kind of content, hit that subscribe button so I don't get lost, because I might, we never know. That's not what I learned from How to Train Your Dragon. You guys are so serious in these comments. One's path is paved, not followed. I love that, Lance of Dance. That's really amazing. That's a really good way of putting it, because like, especially when you work with the dragons, like everybody's gonna have their own experience, and like some people's experiences are delusional. Like, and that is like just reality. And like also it's really important to know that like when you're trying to learn about working with dragons and witchcraft, like that is something that is so hard to research sometimes, and you have to use so much discernment, and like it's an advanced study for a reason. It's like not like a practice or a magic that I would ever recommend to a beginner, because everybody's always a beginner in dragon magic. So it's like, unless you have like an understanding of like witchcraft and magic already, and you have like a good like well-versed study of like dragon mythology, like I personally don't recommend people start practicing dragon magic without that first. And also you have to believe in dragons, that they're real, or they won't show themselves. So there's that too. Like those are like the holy trinity for like working with dragons. But if like, even if like what I just said doesn't resonate with you, like that's also valid. Like you're able to have your own way of interacting with them. But like the way that you interact with dragons can be harmful for other people. And it is okay if someone decides to remove themselves from that, right? Like everybody deserves dragons, but that also means I deserve dragons my way, away from you, if what you do hurts me. That also means that I deserve dragons in the way that makes me feel safe, right? Like, and so do you. And the way that dragons might make you feel safe might make me feel unsafe. And the way that dragons make me feel safe might make you feel unsafe. And it's all about finding what path works for you. You know, it literally is so important, because when we forget that, we kind of sometimes forget our humanity. And sometimes it can get even worse and worse and worse, you know, because you do not understand how sacred it is to have a spiritual practice as a human being. It is one of the practices within human history that has been systemically denied. Many different people, unless you looked a certain way, dressed a certain way, or behaved a certain way, it wasn't for you. It wasn't valid for you. And because of that, when it comes to spiritual practices, they are so sacred and close to our hearts and our souls that it's all about what works for an individual. And nobody else ever has the ability to determine who your dragon guardians are. That is ultimately up to you. Is it true or is it not true? What does your heart and guts and soul say, right? Like, what is your intuition telling you? Like, you decide for you. I don't decide for you. Like, and I would never pretend that I could. Right? And I think people who were like, you have a dragon behind you, or I confirmed your dragon guardian is this guardian, is just so disgusting and predatory and harmful, and literally can cause people to spiral and run away from dragons and hurt people. It's like religious abuse. It's like spiritual abuse sometimes, you know? I have a question from my mod. Where's the mod's question? I can't find the mod's question. What kind of videos would you suggest for someone new to draconic TikTok? Okay. First of all, I would require people to watch as many things as they can, okay? Like literally, don't limit yourself. I want you to get involved as much as you can. It's not about who to avoid on TikTok, okay? Because arguably some people would say you should just avoid the app altogether. So the way I'm gonna take it, the direction I'm gonna take this one is in how to use it, right? Because I think that's actually more plausible. That's more like of a utility, right? Like you actually are gonna probably put that to use rather than me telling you like who and who not to watch. That's stupid. You have free will. So like when you watch content on TikTok, but when you watch content on Dragon Magic, I need you to ask yourself, where did this information come from? I need you to ask, does this benefit the creator in any way for me to like buy into what they're like the narrative or whatever? And do they sell anything? Okay. If they sell something, what do they sell? You know what I mean? How thorough is their website? Does their website show like, you know, does it have a refund policy? Does the website describe ratios of certain things that are used, for example? Does it, you know, include ingredients? Does it include how those ingredients are made? Does it show proof of authenticity? Like, these are certain things that you really should consider, right? And when like are they teaching a course? Okay, if they're teaching a course or if they're selling a class, the way they market for that, are they marketing for those like content, that source, as in a way for you to feel like you're gonna miss out if you don't buy it, right? Because that's a really good marketing technique that anyone will use, right? Like, is somebody saying like, you have a dragon soul? Like, are they giving you your identity, or are they offering you something to take that could be a part of your identity? That's like my key point here. Are they telling you that they are a child of Tiamat and confirming that for you? Or are they presenting you with the, hey, this is a thing that people believe, this is a thing that like people resonate with. Some people feel like they're children of Tiamat. Maybe this could be for you too. But it has to do with self-perception a lot. You know what I mean? When you're on like a niche on TikTok, like DragonWitchTok, it's important to ask yourself, is this based in mythological precedent? Is this based in historical precedent? Is anything from a cultural like community or an indigenous community, is it being taken out of cultural context and used to profit either in views or money, like sales, right? Like if you ask questions in the comments, do they give you a valid answer or getting offended? Are they giving you a plan BS answer? Yeah. A planned BS answer? Yeah. Or a plain answer. Like, people who will literally delete you or ban you for asking your questions are not people you should be following, because like the people who are making content about dragon magic, the whole point is to answer questions, right? Like, and the whole point is to answer difficult questions. Like dragons are known for their riddles. Like, what, like why would anyone who creates content on dragon magic, especially on TikTok, like be offended by you asking valid questions, especially when you make claims, right? So like, it's really important to, you know, like when people ask me, oh, like, you know, like, how do you know that the dragon fae are real? I'm like, I really don't. Like, it's kind of just from a deck that I got, personal gnosis, based off of a concept. But guess what? I base it off of the intersection of dragon and like fae and like mermaid and like goddess and like angel and demon mythology, because that's the best way that I can kind of work on that practice, is by finding how all of these different types of mythologies kind of have similarities. And that's where I kind of get like the dragon fae practice that I have. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I've been working with dragon fae for so long. And like, why I call myself a dragon fae alchemist now is simply because like I have just studied these certain, like, I guess you could say, cross-referencing certain things over and over again to kind of like build a perception of them, right? But when it comes to something like Tiamat, who's an actual goddess from an ancient culture that has like mythological and historical precedent and cultural precedent to her, like, that is something completely different than the dragon fae, like, which is what I'm trying to kind of describe or like convey, because there's so much nuance with things like this. It's almost like like a university college study level type of like media literacy some people need when they're researching these things. It's not just something that you know, Google one night and decide you're a dragon witch. Like, that's kind of awkward. Good night, the vintage system. It was so nice to see you. We will see you soon. But yeah, that's would you go by that today, or would you handle it differently? Oh, I totally missed that. Sir, I remember in a vid you mentioned a decade ago that you got a reading from someone in the Hatchling clan. They gave you a reading telling you that you had the soul of a dragon. Would you go by that today, or would you handle it differently? See, I've had a couple of readings from people that have told me I was either dragonkin or I had a dragon soul. And when I had those readings, I was very young, right? Like, I was literally like a child, like a minor for some of those readings. And like, my brain wasn't fully developed at that time. And like, I was of course gonna probably believe whatever I heard that I liked, right? Like, that's just kind of how it works when you're at that age sometimes. And especially if you don't have like the proper support system for navigating things like that. I wasn't gonna tell anyone that I like considered myself potentially a dragon, right? That was a lot, especially back then. So these readings now, while I don't resonate with them in the way that they were delivered to me, like, I still do identify as dragonkin and having a dragon soul. It's very different though. And like, I honestly should probably make a whole entire video about it, because like, unless I really truly take the time to explain all of the nuance with things, like, at least in my practice of dragon magic, most people don't understand. And like, I wouldn't understand either, because like, I have literally only gained this understanding from walking this path for like over 2 decades. Like, and not even like I've only been like super serious about it like within like the last decade. And it's so different every single day, like working with dragons in my practice, that like I have met like dragon witches who have such a regular practice with dragons that it's just, you could almost not even compare our practices to each other. Like it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I need to pick up my research. I've been in a rut. Yeah, you know, me too, which is why like I'm really glad that like Tiamat came into my life recently. I found my matron goddess Tiamat this year when I read my series here called The First Sex. It's called like my Bible and my playlists if you want to watch the video series. But like I really kind of wanted to like discover who Tiamat was after reading that book with you guys. And in my discovery of her, that's kind of how I found the DragonWitchTok community, and by extension Cecilia, who we're making the, you know, the Discord called Draconic Arcana. And it was just like literally through me wanting to learn more about Tiamat that brought me here. And which is why like our communities, like our icon has her rune in it, Tiamat's rune in it. It's dedicated to Tiamat because, you know, she is such a very important like goddess in a lot of dragon witches practices, if not the like matron for most of us. Not all of us, don't get me wrong, not all of us even work with dragon deities, but it's just like really kind of magical how all of it happened and how all of it fell together for, you know, me just to get to where I am now with my practice with Tiamat. And one thing that I've learned working with Tiamat is that she is a conductor of chaos, and she is one hell of a chaos dragon. Everything in my practice that is tied to Tiamat is all about basically the chaos to reorder everything. And it is really, really special. And I want to share more about that journey, right? Because it's just really important journey to my heart, you know what I mean? But it's not like the only journey I want to share with you guys. It's just the one that I really want to share with you guys next. Are you pagan? Some people would probably consider me pagan, Daniel James. Welcome to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. I don't consider myself pagan, personally, but some people would. So, I don't know. We can let God decide if you'd like. But, because I'm also a witch who believes in God, right? Like, so some people think that, some people don't even really know how to interact with me at all, actually. Is the Draconic Path not pagan? It would be considered pagan, which is why I said some people would consider me pagan. Lunar Rainbow! Oh my gosh! Welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. The Draconic Path does not have to be pagan. Yes, exactly. That dragon witch, it's true. Like, I would say that probably most people would consider it, like, from an outside perspective, but, like, when you're actually practicing it, it's, like, on paper, not necessarily, right? But generally speaking, people would consider it a pagan path. I don't consider it, for me, like a pagan path, simply because, like, I don't, like, worship the dragons, right? Like I don't worship multiple gods, right? Like I only like worship one god, which is like the Abrahamic god. But like I work with dragons in like my witchcraft, which can be very, very spicy for a lot of different people. So I think that she intimidates to weed out certain people. Yes, Dragon Blingy. Tiamat really feels like that. It's honestly like but you know, with her, like when I first like started connecting with Tiamat, it felt like a very like really like, what's the word? I wouldn't say strict, but I would say like a very firm and strong like maternal energy. You know what I mean? And my dragons are more like my family. I try to explain this because like I also identify as dragonkin, for those of you guys who don't know, if you're new or whatever. That basically means that I believe I have like the soul or the spirit of a dragon in a human form. That is like I have many videos on it if you're interested, but for today's sake, like as somebody who believes that my spirit is a dragon and I have like a dragon form, like that's why I feel like the dragons in my spiritual practice like are my family, like my spirit family in a way. And I connect to the dragons in a familial way that's just nothing like a human connection. And I don't really know how else to explain that than saying dragonkin. And some of my like spirit team I would consider dragonkin, or like dragon family, right? So it's just my personal practice that I like to share with you. But because of these things, like, I don't view dragons in the way that a lot of people do. A lot of people might like worship or honor dragons, right? Or they would like venerate them and things like that. Or like pray to them. Yeah, I don't really do that. That's just not my practice. But like my practice and the way that I work with God is just different, right? The first interaction is always a test to see if you can handle their energy. Therefore, it may seem scary, intimidating, or even dooming. Look into it and ask why. Are they testing you or are they reflecting? No, for real. Because like, it's so important to really focus on who you are and really focus on like why, like if you're like going to engage with a deity like Tiamat, for example, like really focus on why are you showing up to this? Like, why are you tapping into this? Like, why is this a practice for you? Why do you seek a practice with a chaos dragon goddess? Like, that's ancient and primordial. Like, you never know, right? Like, you never know, like, what that could entail and what that could like open or rip apart in your life. And it's important to kind of question yourself in that. And when you first start connecting with her, my first real, like, I guess you could say trial with Tiamat had to do with just what was going on with me coming back to the dragon magic community online and really starting to get serious about posting about my practice again, and like really kind of understanding what that looks like, and why am I posting content on dragons again? Like, what is the purpose of that? Like, why am I trying to show up? And like, I really didn't understand where I was going until I connected with Tiamat. And Tiamat really is the goddess in my life that helps me remember who I am and helps me show up in my power, and is my family who watches out for me, like in a way that a mother would. And like, you know, sometimes people have these experiences with deities for a various different reasons, and why the reasons that I connect with Tiamat might not be the reasons you do, it doesn't mean that we both can't work with her. It doesn't mean that we both can't, you know, like tap into that energy. And it's just all one personal journey at the end of the day. And which is why like the ultimate message of this video today is, number one, like, you are in charge of your own practice when it comes to dragons. And you can create whatever practice you want. You could literally create it out of thin air. It could be completely DIY, completely personal gnosis. I wouldn't recommend that ever to anybody. Please don't do that. That is so dangerous for your mental health. But like, you have free will, and you can say, you can take anything that I said today in today's live stream and be like, we don't care, Zora Dragon Feather. We're going to do it our own way. We don't like what you have to say. We're going to be ourselves. And valid, you can do that. You can be however you'd like. And I'm just here to share my experience with dragons with you. I'm just here to let you know what works for me, what doesn't, what my life has been like, and what my experience has been like. And today I just wanted to share what my experience was like on DragonWitchTok. And I wanted to give a special thank you to that Dragon Witch for helping me create Draconic Arcana with her. It is both of our, like, our, what's the word? Both of our Discord server. So we created it to basically be a space for any dragon lover or any dragon witch, not only on TikTok, but just online in general, to kind of just help you understand and research dragons as best as you can and create your own path with dragons. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, we are not here to like define that for you. Like, the only thing we do there is our best to keep the safety of the community a top priority, and talk about things that are green flags, and talk about things that are red flags, and talk about things that are, you know, personal to our experience, and talk about things that are historical or mythological. It is our dragon egg. You are so right. That dragon witch, I'm gonna cry. It's her little hatchling. No, for real, it is our little egg, because I feel like Timeout would be less brutal if I was less stubborn. Twinkleplasm. Oh my god, I love your name, by the way. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. But you're absolutely right. So you're absolutely right. But like, it's just like, you know, like, I want to make it like very clear. I'm just like so done with like this whole like convoluted shit, like this whole, what's it called? Um, this like tiptoe around the like reality of things. Look, I don't care, right? Like the reality of the nature of this show here today is literally first and foremost like the hatchling clan. I've always made the hatchling clan for a place for me to connect with you hatchlings and a place for us to discover the magic within. It's our cozy little nest that we share together and hang out and share our experiences, not only with dragons, but just all spirituality, right? But like Draconic Arcana specifically is like a group project within the dragon magic community that's designed for dragon witches, for the safety of dragon witches by dragon witches, and like just to help you better like explore dragons. And because everyone deserves dragons, right? Like it's just they're like, we would love to have you in both communities, right? But like they are a little different, right? So you might like one, you might not like the other. You might like both, you might like neither. So they're there for you if you want them, you know? Oh, you crazy Rambo Fox. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. The horns are on my head. They are eating my brains. She nearly tore my family apart and ate my cat because I wouldn't have actually changed with anything less. Oh my goodness. That was tragic. I'm sorry to hear that. Tragic nostalgic. Is it okay if I don't consider myself a witch specifically? Of course. You don't have to be a witch to work with dragons. Like, there are so many people who actually work with dragons and they don't even realize they work with dragons. I can see the dragon energy all around them. It is clear as day, but these people are just lucky, just super lucky, or just like super badass, like super wealthy. Like it happens, right? But like dragons are for everyone, right? Like you can be in any religion, you can be in any identity and have a dragon guardian or work with dragon energy or walk a dragon path. Like it's literally your decision. And like just because like I personally might not resonate with like, you know, your path with dragons, or you might not resonate with mine, doesn't mean that they're both not valid, right? Like I will say that like there are some delusional ways to work with dragons. I've encountered far too many of it on DragonWitchTok, but like again, you have free will. You can choose whatever you want. Like I just know, man. Nyla Willis, or Naya Willis. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Today, we're talking about why you should be careful on TikTok when it comes to searching dragon magic. I am a dragon witch. I've been practicing for 20 years with the dragons and with the witchcraft. It's been a lot, okay? I'm just here to tell you. So basically, a lot of people have lost their minds. They're just absolutely batshit. There's a lot of racist people there who are just culturally appropriating dragons in order to make money. It's pretty intense. It's like, oh, it means shout out. Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dragon Witch. NPC. That was my impression of an NPC. Was it bad? But yeah, no, okay, so for context, like I recently had like a really bad experience on TikTok within the dragon magic community. I kind of like talked about that like a little bit earlier in the stream, but we're just kind of coming to the conclusion, which I'm also about to go pop over to TikTok too and do live readings. They're all free, by the way. I'm not charging you a dime. I'm only charging you your time. Honestly, that's all that these readings cost. But I will be doing C Melody readings over on TikTok after this stream if you're interested in getting a free reading. But basically, like, I'm just talking about how, like, I recently joined TikTok. I've been making content on dragon magic for a very long time, for over a decade, but like I've recently like brought it to TikTok. I did a little bit in like 2020, but like I'm really like posting it like daily now over there, and I've been having a lot of fun. Like it's a lot of fun on TikTok if you just like kind of keep it to the posting and like don't engage with like the haters, and like honestly don't get too involved with like the communities like on like the like back end of things, right? Like, be careful what you purchase from TikTok. And you know, as much as I love like a lot of my favorite creators whose whole businesses are on TikTok and they're very, very professional creators and they know what they're doing, like, I'm not trying to affect their business, to be honest, but my point is like, when you buy things on TikTok, especially like readings or like spiritual content or like literally anything from TikTok shop or things like that, like in terms of like spiritual stuff, like, please just use so much caution with that, and like, you know, really use your intuition and try and ask yourself, is this something that I'm buying because like I feel like I need it or I won't be able to understand myself, or are you buying it because like you don't want to do the work of connecting with your own dragon guardian? I'm sorry. But like, the truth is like, you have to know that like there are people who are great at doing what they do on TikTok, right? The point is not to be afraid of these things, like, because these really scary things exist all over the internet. It's not just TikTok, right? But like, knowing how to find the genuine creators from the people who are basically just selling snake oil, if you will, it's incredibly important to just have some media literacy, right? Which is why like Cecilia and I, or that Dragon Witch and I, working really hard on this Draconic Arcana Discord server, is because like, we're trying to help you navigate all of those that laundry list of different things that you need to kind of like look out for. Like, you have to have an eye for people who are like predatory and want to take advantage of your spiritual practice or your spirituality. It's really popular there. It's scary. People who want to profit off of your love of certain dragons or just dragons in general. People who are selling you things that don't work or that will not work the way they're marketed to. People who will sell things or like readings that will literally damage your connection with like your spirit guides. Like, the whole response is not to be, it's all bad. No, that's not how that works. That's not reality. Like, the reality we live in is a polar one, like, meaning that there's polar opposites, and as much as there is bad things going on, there's a lot of really good things going on there too. And my purpose here today is just to let you guys know what's kind of going on there behind the scenes with certain types of these practices and services. And I'm just trying to do my best to give you guys the tools you need to properly navigate it safely. Otherwise, you're not really consenting to some of the things over there, which is why I say TikTok can be scary. You know what I mean? Like, it can be like, I don't have time, Doc. How could I get a reading from you? I will be offering readings soon, but for today, I'm actually going to be offering free readings over on TikTok after the stream. But if you don't like use TikTok or anything like that, just like, I guess, hang in there while I like get back into the swing of things with my readings before I start like opening my bookings again, if you would like to book a reading with me. And I will never message you, so beware of scammers, because I will never ever message you for a reading. Please, I never will. So there's that. I might message you to say hello, but I will never message you for a reading, okay? Yeah, so it's a lot to take in sometimes, and for the most part, just taking everything with a grain of salt is the best way to go, to be honest. Lunar Rainbow, stay tuned. I will have ways to book readings with me soon. Right now I'm not available to book readings, I guess you could say, but I will get back to you on that soon. I will be doing more live readings here on my my like YouTube live. I might do like a Tarot Tuesday stream or something like that, and do some readings for you guys. But for the most part, I don't like sell readings right now just because I am out of practice. But if you join Discord, there are many readers in there as well. Oh yes, that's true. The Draconic Arcana Discord server, we have amazing readers there. Trust me, like, it's not just like me and that Dragon Witch, amazing readers, but like so many people who I didn't even know were like offering readings, and who like were like even practicing certain types of like dragon magic that like I wasn't even familiar with. So like, there's just so much to discover there. And also, like, for me personally, like, I have just found such a beautiful community there. Like, I love the Hatchling clan, and I love hanging out with the hatchlings, and I love creating our community together there, and you should totally join the Hatchling clan too. but it's always good to have a variety of dragon magic communities, and it's always good practice to have a variety of different sources, of different places that you can go for the things that you love. And I'm so happy that we have Draconic Arcana now, because without it, I literally would feel so lost in dragon magic these days. Like, and I know that sounds super dramatic, but I'm really being so serious with you guys. I feel like I found like my like community of like dragon witches like outside of like the hatchlings, right? Like, because the hatchlings aren't the only dragon witches out there. Like, there's so many of us, like, and sometimes you kind of just gotta look a little bit, right? But like, to help kind of like, to help any of you hatchlings out there because I'm always being asked about more dragon creators too, and I just like really, it's just really awkward sometimes, right? Like, it's really awkward sometimes how much I'm just like, oh dear Lord. Like, which ones are the good ones, right? Like, and I've like promoted like people who've like been kind of like a fail, right? But like, I hope that like this could like just help some of you guys, you know, because even all of you guys don't resonate with the hatchling clan too, but you might resonate with Draconic Arcana, and that is totally valid. Like, no hard feelings. Like, the whole point is to create communities that you guys might resonate with. It has nothing to do with like anything other than like your experience. I want to make sure that people know this, right? Because like, I have had a hell of a time, okay, trying to work with dragons and connecting with other dragon witches on TikTok. I've had a hell of a time trying to get it right. And I'm just really happy now that I did. We're doing it the right way now. Very exciting. I can't express how much I missed you, hun. I missed you so much, Luna Rainbow. I literally am so happy to be back. We're all moved into the new house, so I have an ability to be more regularly live, right? I don't think I'll be like live every single day, right? It was kind of starting to burn me out for the daily dose of Dragon Feather, but I will definitely be live 3 times a week on this channel. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make like an official live schedule yet, or if I'm just gonna kind of do randomly so everybody can like do whatever. My husband had the audacity to turn on a movie about, oh no, and then fall asleep. Who does that, Dragon Witch? That's crazy. The gall, the gumption. I don't know. That's mad a little bit. That's madhouse. That would actually scare me. That would actually scare me. I don't know how you can talk for this long and not need water. It is. I got the gift of the gab, as my dad says. I mean, I got the rose tea, right? That's all we got. I sleep with those stories. That Dragon Witch, y'all are crazy. It's like kind of the same thing of like watching, what's the word? True crime. It's like falling asleep watching true crime. Ironic that I feel my dragon wings on my back right now. I love phantom shifting for real. Dude, same, Lands of Dance. Like, it is the best. It's like, I mean, sometimes it like makes me sad, right? But like, it's like a really trippy cool like feeling and experience to phantom shift. To some people, horror movies can provide comfort. Yes. To me, I am not one of them. They deeply disturb me. The dragons tell me no horror for you. I have not watched horror since I was 16. Thank you, Dragon Guardians. I feel like it has kept me in a much more brighter state of mind, I would like to think. I watch horror, true crime, and slasher films. It's a thing. But I wholeheartedly believe in blank because of this man. I'm not going to say the certain word live just because it scares me. But yeah, I believe that shit too. I like astral projecting and taking my true dragon self there. I mean, honestly, like, the only way that I feel like I've really tapped into like my like dragon kin like self is through my dreams specifically. But I would honestly love to do like a live stream about like shifting like as dragonkin, because there's many different kinds, like, you know, astral shifting like you're talking about, and also like dream shifting and phantom shifting. There's just so many different kinds of shifting, like even psych shifting. So it would be fun to kind of like do another video about that. But let's see. I feel so cool, but at the same time it sucks that I can't use them. Yes, that's how I feel too. Sometimes it like makes me really sad because like this world is such a beautiful world. I wish I could fly and see it from a dragon's eye view. I will go in airplanes, I guess, but it's not the same, and you know it's not. Those are my comfort shows. It's a problem, I know. It's, you know, I used to watch, there was this horror show, the last horror show I watched was one called Salem. It was on Netflix a long time ago. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it's just like, what the hell? I don't need, it was like a witch show, like a horror witch show, and it was not it, guys. Like, I don't recommend it. I really don't. It, but I enjoyed it. It was wild. Like, out of all the horror stuff, like, that was the one I liked, actually. um, I love you so much. I swear you gotta be my soul sister, hun. Oh my gosh, dude. I feel like all of the hatchlings are like, you guys are like my family. Like, and when I say that, I don't mean that lightly. I mean, like, do you understand that I cannot talk to like any of my friends or my family about the kind of stuff that I talk with you guys? The way that I feel so deeply understood by the hatchlings is actually insane to me. Like, I actually didn't understand that like strangers could make me feel more like seen and understood than people who I'm in the same room with and have known my whole life and even came from. Like, it blows me away every single time. It blows me away every single time, and I just gotta say thank you for spending some of your day with me today, because dang, like, what would I do without you guys? Like, honestly, I would be so lost. This is why, like, for real, like, I'm telling you, like, my dragon guardians, more than anything, especially this year during the year of the dragon, for those of you guys who didn't know, 2024 is the year of the dragon in like the Chinese lunar year. I did not realize how much community was going to be the theme, right? Now more than ever, the dragon witches around the world need a community, and they need a space to feel safe. And the thing about safe spaces is that they're naturally exclusionary. A hatchling taught me that. And that means that one community might not work for you, and that's okay. But it also means that, you know, some communities might be dangerous and scary, and we need to talk about that. And that also means that, like, just because you like one community and not another, that doesn't make either one right or wrong. It just is the way it is. You know, which is why, like, I hope maybe that you can find some community if you're interested in dragon magic within Draconic Arcana, which is the first link in the description, or of course the Hatchling clan. You know, like, we've always been doing our best here to like try and provide the best community, you know, for not only dragon magic, but just for you to discover the magic within in general. But like, I think now more than ever, it's really important, especially dragon witches, to have other people they relate to. It's important for us to be able to exchange ideas and exchange information, and like also understand, like, hey, like, maybe this makes me uncomfortable, but I don't know who to talk to about it, because how can I tell somebody that X, Y, and Z within dragon magic? There's a lot of layers that go into it. It's good to have community that understands, right? So that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about today for today's video. And like, this video is genuinely not to send hate to anybody. This video is 100% to talk about my experience on DragonWitchTok, and my experience with the dragon witches there, and my experience with creating community with some of them, and running from community from some of them. And it's all about like how my experience that I've had to learn the hard way how to stay safe on TikTok within the dragon magic space and within the dragon witchcraft space. These are kind of like my best tips that I can give you, and why like you should really just be careful when you're going not only on TikTok but specifically DragonWitchTok. It can be a very scary place, especially if you're coming into contact with a lot of creators that you may have no idea who they are, and they might look like, you know, they might have beautiful altars, and they might have videos with like hundreds of thousands of views, and you think that they, you know, are trustworthy because they have thousands of fans in their comment sections. Well, one thing that is for sure is that only you can determine your path with the dragons, and anyone who's trying to tell you otherwise, it doesn't matter if it's on TikTok or anywhere, even in real life, like, please just be so careful about that. I am about to get off of this live stream. I am going to head over to my TikTok page. If you're interested in joining me and getting a free reading from the mermaids, we're going to be doing some more mermaid messages over there for free tonight, then go ahead and click the last link in my description, would be my TikTok for your daily dragon content and your daily dragon videos. and your occasional dragon live streams. So it was so much fun to, you know, hang out with you guys today. You have intuition for a reason. Thank you, that dragon witch. We do. You got to use it, okay? Why else? Like I wasn't born without intuition and now I have to follow this person. Everyone has one. It's like a muscle, right? Like your intuition is like a muscle. If you don't flex that shit, it's not gonna grow. And by flexing your intuition, that means when it tells you something really quiet, you listen and you follow. No matter what happens, even if you get ripped to shreds, even if you become the unpopular person. We love you, Azura. Pickle Chips and Rosie. Yay! Monte is sad. Monte loves you too. That's funny. My guardians miss you guys so much. We'll do a channeling stream soon. But thank you guys so much for spending some of your day with me today. I cannot wait to see you guys in Draconic Arcana. Can't wait to hang out with all of you beautiful people over there and hear about your experiences with dragons. But until next time, say keep it chica and freaky. Little hatchlings, I'll see you on TikTok for your free readings. Blessed be and bye.